霊樹をもって命ずる。王を解放し、聖杯を破壊せよ。お任せを。Xカリバー。
So the Honkai Star Rail Fate Stay Night collab is out, and if you're watching this video, you probably have experienced the story by now. So let me get this straight. I'm going to be brutally honest about the story. It is not as bad as people are making it out to be. Like, you know, there are some people saying that it's the worst collab and they could have done it better and it just doesn't feel like Fate. It's not that. It feels like Fate. But it is not something exceptional out of this world either. It is a very mediocre collab story, collab event. It gets a solid 6 or 7 out of 10 for me. I mean, a 6 or 7 is basically like, you know, mid range, 5 to 7 range. But it's not that bad. Now I'm going to talk about what's good, I'm going to talk about what's bad, and I'm going to talk about what could have been improved. So let's get into it. Now, the things that I liked in the story was obviously Saber, Archer, Lancer. I liked the cut scenes, although I mean they were quite short, but the cut scenes were good. I like Saber's outfit. I like Saber's design. I like that there were more than two fights in the main story. I liked Asna's story. I mean, she was a standout character for me, caster basically. So Robin and Asna's story, I was really fond of it. I really liked that, and I wished that, you know, Caster had a more unique NPC model, kind of like, you know, something like like Micah has or Shaban has, or, you know, I don't know. I don't think Amphorius has any unique NPC designs as of now, but, you know, Penacony has 2 of these characters, and I just feel like, you know, or, you know, maybe Cocolia. I mean, that design is cool. So I wish, you know, Caster had a unique design that could have been like, you know, Robin-esque. It could have been very Robin-esque, like an adult Robin would have looked like. And, you know, they could have just gone with it, like, you know, is this related to Robin somehow? It would have been amazing that way. Although, you know, with the dialogues and such, you could have, you know, predicted it a bit. Like, you know, there was some relation to the ancient Penacony stuff. And then Assassin was Mr. Rekka, which wasn't Mr. Rekka. So it's like, you know, just utilizing his character. Oh, so yeah, Mr. Rekka is an NPC as of now. So Caster should have gotten a unique model. I mean, it just sucks. But okay, Asna's story was great. Grady, Mr. Rekka, Grady was like, I mean, if you see Fate Stay Night, assassins are always the most annoying. So whenever they do stupid stuff, and it's just rough, but it is what it is. Towards the end, I really liked the part where, you know, where there was symbolism with Stelle's journey and Artoria's journey. I'm not going to call her Altria. I mean, that shit does not exist in my dictionary. Artoria and Stelle's, you know, comparisons between their stories, between their past. I really liked how, you know, they, I mean, you know, showcased her sword and all the Merlin stuff, the Arthur legend. It was a nice touch. It kind of reminded me of Lost Belt 6 and hints of, you know, the Fate route, because that is what is the core of Saber. She is governed by the decision, like, you know, she chose to take that sword out of the stone. That's where her life changed, and it always plays a huge role in the Fate route, in Saber's story. So it's kind of nice that, you know, they incorporated that in this main quest as well. And I think that's where the praises end. I mean, there was a good amount of comedy, there was some lore and stuff. Wasn't very deep though, but there was tidbits here and there, and slightly nice references, like, you know, like Heracles and Holy Grail and something. I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's where the praises end. Now comes the parts where I didn't like the story. Like, you know, I found it quite boring. First of all, the major chunk of the main quest was silent, which, you know, got me questioning, like, you know, why do they have voice actors? Like, I get it that English is not voiced, but I mean, Saber, Archer. These characters are legit known for their Japanese voices. I mean, you cannot hear Saber in anything else. Anything else, it just feels weird once you've heard that Japanese voice. It's iconic. So, obviously, if you're getting collab, you want to hear their voice in your video game. Now, making the entire story mute for some reason is completely stupid. And the only person that is voiced is Scott. Like, I know I appreciate Scott's voice actor. He does an amazing role. He is an amazing character. He's a good comedy relief. But please, like, Star Rail has this really big problem when they find something, they just stick with it too much that it gets annoying by the end. It was first with the trash cans, then came the monkeys, and now it's Scott. I mean, Scott is featured in almost every event that has a story, mind you. And at some point, it just becomes annoying because you do not want to just see Scott's story. You want to see other characters, you want to see other IPC people. And I don't know, just having Scott voiced throughout that entire section, which was, I think, lasted an hour and a half, it was not a good decision. Secondly, the cutscenes. Now, look, while the cutscenes were cool, they were too damn short. They are too short. Star Rail, your main story, your event stories, everything. You do not have any cutscene that exceeds the 40-second mark. Hell, the 30-second mark. By the time that I'm into the cutscene, you finish it. It's a black screen. You're back to the hand over the chest and the continuous, repetitious poses and all. And it is annoying. It is absolutely annoying. Like, Saber being summoned, that could have been an entire beautiful cutscene where, where we do the chant, where everybody summons their Saber servants, and you see everybody summoning the servant. There could have been a cutscene where, where Boothill summons Lancer, but you don't see Lancer's face. You just see his boots and his gay bulk. You see Robin, but you see Caster singing. You could have had Aventurine summon Archer, and he could have just, summoned himself like he was summoned in Unlimited Blade Works, where he just, came crashing through on a chair and sitting in this regal pose or something. And then he could have shown that, Saber didn't come. Saber didn't come, Scott arrived. Scott already has summoned his servant, so Scott arrives, he taunts Stelle, and then he runs away. And then in the run, you see Lancer pop up, and in that moment, Saber could have shown up, and it could have been a great 2 to 3 minute cutscene. You could have made it animated. I don't really care. I mean, you do that shit now with Casterus, and fine, and you've done it. So you could have done it over here. Ufotable already licensed you the characters and also, like, it could have been a request. It was a year-long stuff that we're doing, but 2 to 3 minutes, man. I want a good cutscene. I want a good length cutscene. Your competitor, Genshin Impact, which is an open world game, which has a variety of poses, which has a variety of character interactions, character models, character set pieces, area set pieces. They have 2 to 3 minute cutscenes, man. Sometimes the cutscenes exceed 4 minutes. I mean, it's insane. And Star Rail, for all the money that you earn, you have nothing. You're barely a minute of animated cutscenes to show for. So yeah, the second part, the cutscenes, I did not like that. Third part, the story, it was very light-hearted. Like, Fate at its core is light-hearted. They have good amount of jokes. If you read FGO stories like, Lost Belt 6, Lost Belt 7, Camelot, Babylonia, Lost Belt 1, Anastasia, or, Shimosa, or Trom, or whatever. Or if you watch Unlimited Blade Works, or Heaven's Feel, or Fate Route, I mean, they have their fair share of, what should I say, jokes. But they also have dark stuff. Over here, in Penacony, it is just money. The Holy Grail War is a form of entertainment. it's a form of money. No, that is not the purpose of a Holy Grail War. I mean, you could have summoned another servant, let's say Gilgamesh or Hassan or Medea. They're purely evil. I mean, not Gilgamesh, but in Unlimited Blade Works he was. They are purely evil. Let's say their main goal was that they've been summoned to this new place. They've just killed their master because, they don't really give a damn about it. At least Gilgamesh doesn't give a damn about it. And he also has independent action, so he can last longer without a master. So his goal could have been to, just destroy Penacony. Let's make it intense. Let's make it pretty epic. And then the heroes all uniting to stop the destruction of Penacony. That would have made much more interesting. That would have made it a much more interesting plot to play through rather than, seeing old Oti's schemes and knowing that he's just doing it for money. And in the end, he transforms into a damn bug that we've fought since Ron May came out. It's a reused boss. They couldn't even make a unique boss for the Fate collab. Everything is reused, which comes to my fourth point. The reused assets. There is no unique stuff to this apart from the character models of Saber and Archer and Lancer. There's nothing unique. Everything takes place on Penacony. Artoria's past on Britain takes place on ID's Elysiae. So when you first pop up and Artoria says, "This is Britain," no bitch, this is ID's Elysiae. This is fine and square. And it was just introduced just literally a week and a half ago to us. So nobody can easily forget about it also. ID's as whatever that name is you've forgotten about it and you see it again. No. The entire movie takes place in the Clocky Park, and even then there's no set pieces. You're just stuck in the same corridors. I don't know, man. You look at Stelle's past and it's in the Herta space station, which kind of makes sense, I guess, for Stelle, but it's fine. We didn't get any look into Archer's memories, which is kind of strange because Unlimited Blade Works is Archer's route. It is Archer and Rin's route. Fate route is for Saber and Shiro. Unlimited Blade Works is Archer, Shiro, Rin. And then Heaven's Feel is Rider, Shiro, Sakura. So there was literally nothing for Archer over here. He just felt like, a background character. Lancer is Lancer. So Chulainn he's just cool. But I wish we would have gotten more insight into Archer's character. And yeah, that was just the stuff that I did not really like. I did not like that much. It is a good collab event. It is nice. It is a solid 6-7 out of 10. Personally, but it could have been better. It could have been exceptionally better if they had gotten, Gilgamesh. If, maybe old Oti's entire plan was to, rebuild Penacony, take it down entirely and rebuild it from the start, from the fresh, to make a new world or something. Or to, make another dreamscape land or something. I wish it could have been like that. And he would have summoned Gilgamesh. That would have been cool. So there's too many lost opportunities here. Pom-Pom was a master who was not used at all. He wasn't used anywhere. And it kind of sucks. Although I do like the fact that, at the end you see Pom-Pom's servant and he kind of figured it out by then that, Rider and Berserker was missing. And if old Oti was Berserker and it takes part in Penacony's history, so Mikhail has to be somewhere. So you see Misha as Pom-Pom's servant. You see Pom-Pom and Misha interacting with each other. And it's a very heart-touching moment considering the fact that we know what happened to Misha. So it's nice to see him again. It's nice to see that, he's taken on the rider mantle and he chose not to participate in the Holy Grail War. He just wanted to, relax and catch up on what has been missed. It was kind of nice. It was a very heart touching moment that I really liked. But I mean, it could have been more. It could have been a two-parter. It could have been a three-parter. It could have been expanded. Like, if old Oti summoned Gilgamesh, that could have been entirely different thing altogether. It could have progressed in a different direction. It would have been amazing. But I mean, the event also. I mean, the play event that we had. It's a glorified Divergent universe, which is. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's just a glorified Divergent universe, honestly. But yeah, I wish they had more. I wish it gets a part two or something. I mean, I totally wish it gets a part two. If it doesn't, it just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, and it just makes no sense at all. It's just like, I don't know why they did it, for. But that's it. I mean, at least we have a collab, unlike Genshin, who gave us Aloy without constellations. I still hate you for that, Genshin. But yeah, overall, like I said, it's a nice story. It's good for people who don't play, who don't read Fate, who are not interested in Fate. They're gonna like see this character, they think that, no, damn, they're cool, and they might roll for her. They might venture into Fate. They might see the Unlimited Blade Works anime, but that's about it. But I feel like, for people who are heavily invested into Fate, like, I don't know about others, but me, I'm a heavily invested into Fate. I've seen all the Fate stuff. I haven't read the VNs because I haven't found the time to, but I've seen all the Fate stuff. I've read about it online. I do play FGO. I have two accounts, one on NA, one on JP, and both are up to date. Even though JP is 2 years ahead and I started JP 1 year later than NA, I'm still up to date over there. So I'm a huge, massive fan of FGO, of Fate in general. I love Fate so much. And I just wish, this story left a cliffhanger of sorts. Like, I wish it was a three-parter stuff, kind of like how they're doing with Amphorius with the 1 year long story. I wish they gave this collab that level of importance. Like, it could have been 3 patches long. If they have Archer or Saber's banner running for 3 patches long, at least give me a story worth 3 patches long. It would have been amazing. It would have been amazing because, we could have fleshed out these characters a lot. You could have formed intense bonds. You could have mentioned Shiro, Rin, Ilya. In the future, you could have summoned other servants, Medusa, Medea. Although Medea's voice couldn't appear, sorry, that's kind of sad. But Medusa, Hassan, Gilgamesh, Saber Alter. I'm not Saber Alter. Saber Alter is locked to Heaven's Field, but yeah, Unlimited Blade Works has a lot of stuff, and it just kind of absolutely sucks that, there's no mention of Shiro, there's no mention of Rin, there's no mention of Gilgamesh. There's a slight subtle mention of by Arch, like, he says that, you don't you shouldn't really trust people in gold, which is kind of a good nod to Gilgamesh, but still, I wish he was playable. So, I mean, that's it. That's my opinion. That's my take on this. It is what it is. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this collab, and click subscribe to support me. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Goodbye.